Yo, what it do, St. Louis? Y'all know what it is. It's time for St. Louis Hustle with your girl Michelle A and Cortez Hustle. I know I mess her up every time I come in with my yo, but today's video we're talking about um, what are we talking about? How to overcome adversity with a special guest
Yes.
Mr. Reginald Foreman. So we're not gonna delay any play around any further, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and roll this intro.
Oh,
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy, and most say if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy.
My bad.
right. I'll do it again. It ain't never been easy.
What's going on, Michelle A?
What up, man? What's going on? What's good with you today?
Hey, man, everything. Just trying to stay safe out here in these St. Louis streets.
Man, growing up in the streets of St. Louis ain't easy.
It ain't
You know
easy,
what
man.
I'm saying?
No, it is not easy. How was your weekend?
Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so let me take a little sip of my concoction here. Let me just. Can I sip? It's just
Yeah,
for the.
yeah, that's
It,
right.
you
They
know,
say you got to keep warm liquids going down for the Rona. So
right.
yeah,
It's
okay.
for the corona. It ain't no corona, but it's for the corona.
There you go.
Look, there you go, right there. So right. So here's my disclaimer. Right, is power in words. So I'm gonna just say that this is my disclaimer. Don't take this too serious, y'all. Okay, that you got to take the power out of words. Everybody run around here. The whole world. It's a global pandemic kind of situation with this whole I keep jacking the word up, but the canola. I just said the daggone word with the
The
corona.
COVID-19. I found that easier to say sometimes than the Corona. COVID-19.
Our girl said it. Corona. What's the girl Cardi B? She said the coronavirus.
Yes.
Got the power out of it. Everybody's like, oh my God, the coronavirus. It's the corona. Coronavirus. Corona is not playing with us, y'all. Okay? Corona's not playing. You wonder why stuff ain't showing up? She said on her little thing, she said, you wonder why your clothes ain't showed up from your what's everybody order from that one site? Gosh darn it, because my kids order from this little site. She said, not the Wish site, because Wish don't never show up.
Oh.
Wish never shows up. It's all in the name. She said, but you wonder why your Fashion Nova ain't showing up? The corona.
The coronavirus.
That's why it ain't showed up. So what's going on with me? I tried to enjoy 314 day over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. Couldn't because of the coronavirus. Interrupted for 314. I was trying to go everywhere, but they were shutting stuff down, Cortez.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
coronavirus had folks in an uproar. The people had the red, white, and blue on and everything. People was trying to get the party on, but
Yeah.
they were shutting stuff down so bad. And here's my thing: what's with everybody buying all the toilet paper? I mean, do the coronavirus give you the run? Do it give you the book?
Well,
I didn't know what's going on. Why is everybody buying up all the toilet paper?
Well,
And here's the thing.
my good friend Larry Haley said it's scaring the mess out of everybody. So that's why you need the tissue.
Here's the scary part. They buying up all the toilet paper, but I still see soap on the shelf in abundance. What's that? Something wrong with that picture. They buying up all the toilet paper, but I still see tons of soap on the shelf. What's going on? Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody ain't washing good. That's what I say. What's going on, people?
Okay.
I'm saying, make you think. What's really going on now? What's really going on out here? And then also in the stores, you can't get what you need. And then people out here elbowing. Now it was in the beginning with the coronavirus. Coronavirus. Every time you say it, you just gotta say
you gotta say it like that. You gotta say it the Cardi B way.
You should stick your tongue out, but it just depends on where you're at. But you know what I'm saying? In the beginning, everybody was like, oh, don't, touch each other, elbow. But in the stores now, people elbowing. It's not like a friendly elbow. It's like, give me the tissue.
Yes.
It's like a jab elbow. It's not a friendly elbow. They got the corona elbow now. It's not cool. It's really not cool, all because of the corona. I think corona is a female. Like, you know how they give the storms name? Like they make the storm like Hurricane Aretha or Hurricane Keisha. Coronavirus, that's a female.
That's a female.
Yeah, she's a female. Oh, Corona is definitely a female. She's jacking folks up. She's hemming folks up. She's got brothers by the pit. Come here. Just give me back what you gave me.
She's a woman scorned.
Yeah, she's a woman. She's a woman after a one-night stand. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Sorry, Lord.
We got into the store a little bit, and I don't know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but the whole Thornton clan is gonna be messed up if this thing is more serious than what I believe. I just ain't been taking it that serious, man. We ain't go stock up. We ain't got no canned goods, man. We ain't got no. I mean, we tried to go get some potatoes and some rice. It was all gone. Got some beans in there, man. But I just don't know if we prepared. If this is it, man, we're gonna be one of the first to go. Cause I just don't know if we taking it serious enough. I'm all happy-go-lucky. Everything gonna be all right in the morning, and the morning might not come for us, Michelle, because we just don't have. We just ain't. We pulled up on that Snooks lot, and it was so freaking packed. My wife was like, "I ain't going in there." I was like,
Right.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Man, we went last night. We was in line last night, and I was in the checkout line. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was the same way. My kids are grown, and so it's just me. And I was in the 20 items or less line, and it was like all the way back. And people were coming around the corner, like they was doing their shopping, and they would come around the corner and see the lines, and they would put their stuff back. They'd be like, "It's not worth it." I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just die out. That's okay. I'm gonna just go to the liquor store. I'm gonna get a fifth or something and some snacks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just wait this thing out. I'm gonna just get drunk and get full off Cheetos. That's what they're making the decision to do.
Ain't no doubt about it, man. It's like, we got a few little ramen noodles in there, man, and man, I was like, we gonna be some fast and praying some guns is what's gonna happen if if it's more serious.
I have a neighbor, and God bless her. I love her to death. She's a sweet, sweet lady, but she always come knock on my door and borrow the most random things. Like she came the other day. I use my inside voice. I don't want her to hear me because she's sweet. I love her to death, but she come borrow random things. She knocked on my door the other day, and she's like, "Miss Michelle, you got 2 potatoes I can borrow?" And then like one time she's like, "You got a stick of butter I can borrow?" She wanted 2 cloves of butter 2 cloves of garlic one time. I was
random. And let's not borrow food items. You're not giving that back unless you're gonna come back with the whipped mashed potatoes with the garlic in the butter. You're not
What is you
giving those back, so stop it.
I have a chicken I can borrow? Do you want to be? So I'm gonna feed you? Is that what you
Got
need?
you.
Cause I need some feed. Cause you can afford a meal, I think. I
Got
don't
you.
know.
Got
So
you. All
yeah,
right. Well, before we get to our interview with Mr. Reggie, powerful, powerful stuff, man. We normally do what's cracking in the loo, right? But
right.
the way this coronavirus is set up, uh, ain't nothing cracking in the loo.
Oh my God. So here's what I did, right?
Mhm.
So I went out there and I did go to the calendar because I had anticipated trying to find something to do this weekend because I be
Mhm.
liking to get out there and do stuff.
Mhm.
So here's what I did find, right? On the 17th, which is that today? That's today.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
St. Patrick's Day parade,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Canceled.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus. Okay. On the 20th, right, is the Festival of Laughs.
Mhm.
Canceled. Coronavirus.
Ooh.
Okay. On the 21st, it is the St. Louis Beef Festival. Hey,
Yeah.
canceled. Virus. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Here it is. You know what? Look at God. It is the Black Tie Masquerade Ball. Cancel. You might as well trade your black tie in for a yellow mask and sit in your living room because it's canceled.
Yeah.
Coronavirus. Ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing it. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Sorry. Cancel.
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry. What's going on? Coronavirus.
Told my
Sit at
son
home.
the same thing. You
You
know,
know what you can invest in some Uno cards. That's what you can do. Sit in your living room with your family and play Uno. That's what's going on this weekend. Monopoly is going on this weekend.
well, you know what this thing is really coming down to? It's
Mm.
coming down to attack on your relationship with Christ. See, they first said
Oh,
let me break it down to you, Shell. They first said
say that chat.
they first said that you can't gather with more than 250 people. Then
Uh,
they said, no, we're gonna break that down to 200. So if you can't be in no place where you and 199 other folks, we're
uh,
gonna come and shut it down.
uh,
Then they said 50, right?
mm,
And then I heard my president, because I'm gonna claim him as my president. I know people don't like to claim him as their president, but my president of these whole United States came out yesterday and said, no, if it's more than 10 of y'all together, we're gonna have some problems. You know what they're trying to get down to, Michelle? They're trying to get down to where 2 or 3 are
mm.
gathered in my name. I think that's what's about to happen. They're trying
You
to
know what they
isolate
did to me,
all
right?
of us to where
They,
you can't even get together with your Lord and Savior. I think that's what's
but you know what? The devil is a
happening.
lie. Okay, the devil is a. Oh, you lucky I ain't got my church hat. The devil's a lie. You know what? The devil's a lie. Because here's where he messed up. See, folk get online and get to the Lord. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? First of all, folk ain't gonna listen. That's the first thing.
That's the
Folks
first thing.
they ain't gonna listen. Folks been rebelling, so they gonna rebel against that. So they're not gonna listen. Because folks don't go to church. That's the first thing right there. Then
Mm-hmm.
second thing, folks get online. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Churches are streaming. Okay, so since I done had my cough, which I got my concoction and my cough is just about gone. Thank you. Folks get online. And where, okay, they say, okay, we can't get together 10 folk, however many folk in one room. You can get 10,000 online, though. You know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
saying? You can get a lot of people online, and God is still going to be glorified. You know what I'm
Boom.
saying? God will be glorified. He cannot stop it. He will not win. The devil will not win this. God will be glorified. Jesus' name will be lifted. That's just it. That's just
So
it.
you
That is
and coronavirus can go have
yeah,
several seats, as they
that
say around here.
coronavirus. You might as well go on set it down somewhere.
All right,
Where you?
guys, we've got
Oh,
a quick like a bunny break, and then we're gonna come back and dive right into our interview with
mm.
Mr. Reginald Foreman. So y'all keep it locked right here, man, because brother's testimony is that deal. Keep it locked.
Have you ever wanted to be on TV? If the answer is yes, we have great news. Social media is the new TV and you are the star. And you don't need a crazy budget of millions of dollars.
At Focus Network Media, we teach business owners, entrepreneurs, influencers, and artists how to use video to build their own network on social media. You have the power of TV in the palm of your hand. Go where the people are, and the people are on social media.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast, coming live and direct from the STL Credit Fix Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm your boy, Cortez. Also, that is my girl, Michelle Aaye. And we have a very, very special guest in the building. You guys know we titled this episode Overcoming Adversity. And we didn't just want to talk about it. We brought you someone today who has been about it and is still overcoming, and has got the t-shirt, the hat, and everything to boot. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to some and present to others our good friend, Mr. Reginald Foreman. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Hey, everybody out there in the St. Louis hustle land.
What's going on, man? Listen, tell everybody real quick who you are. The first, you got introduced to adversity at a very early age, man. So let's just pick it up from there and dive right in, brother.
Well, my name is, like I said, Reginald Forman. Again, I'm an at-risk specialist, author, speaker, fashion designer, and inventor. And my life started out in Chicago projects with a mother on drugs, and I was raised fighting and running from gangs, joining gangs, and ended up with a illegal sentence in prison of 18 and a half years. And that's when I obeyed God and laid my life down, and now I'm starting a global business right now. I'm working. Well, I've already started. I'm growing a global business.
Okay. And you said you're an at-risk specialist. Break that down for us. What exactly is an at-risk specialist?
So, an at-risk specialist is someone who I help adults and youth navigate through their pain, their struggles, things they've been through, and try to find a way to amass it, get ahead of it, and use it for their gain. Mm-hmm. They say no pain, no gain. So since I've experienced so many of these things, God has given me a gift, one, and I've done a lot of studying, and I help people turn their pain into purpose.
Awesome, man. I love that. And you said you were erroneously sentenced to time in prison, and this is where things got interesting for me. You went and did time. They let you out after you turned your life around, devoted your life to Christ, and started down the right path for the first time in your life. Then you get, what was it, a letter in the mail, a phone call? Tell us what happened after that.
I was illegally sentenced to 18 and a half years for bank robbery. Mm-hmm. They double charged me in state and federal prison. Like I said, and I was let out. And let's go to the main. I finally got back in the course. I had to skip some parts, but I finally got back in the course after filing an appeal. And I ended up in the county jail, and I got a letter from the federal prison saying your case is mute, meaning that it was closed. You've exasperated your remedies. You can't file any more appeals. You have 2 years to file appeals, and I didn't utilize that again. And next thing I know, I'm stuck with the feds. Wow. And I ended up going and running next door, talking to my mentor. And this is where God really showed me his power. My mentor was a Spanish guy, and I was yelling, man, the feds just said I can't get out. I don't have no way out. And this man started laughing and praising God. And I'm trying to look through the brick wall like, why are you laughing and praising God? And he said, now you will see God's power. Now you will see his hands move because you have no way else out. Mm-hmm. And that means, like a lot of us, man, God is waiting for us to be back against the wall, flat out. Your fingers ain't crossed. You can't call auntie or uncle, and you have to trust them. So I went in the courts, and they overturned my state case, and they just dropped it down from 9 years to 3 years, just charged me for the gun because of the way it wasn't running concurrent like it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting shipped to a federal prison, and it was like a lower level. I got there, and I'm like, why am I going to? I know I got shipped back to another state prison, excuse me. Mm-hmm. And I just got my state case overturned. Like, why am I back in a state prison? And the saying is, while you're trying to figure it out, God is already working it out, or already done worked it out. So now I'm in this state prison, and I'm fighting to get back to federal because all in my mind is, how am I going to be the Fed case in a state prison?
Right.
I wrote my lawyer, I wrote the judge, I wrote the prosecutor, and none of that worked. 4 months later, I'm sitting in the classroom, and R&D is where they receive you and deliver you out. The lady comes, the officer said, Mr. Foreman, we need you down at R&D. As I was walking to the door, I remember this young guy was mentoring. He was a wild young Haitian dude. None of the old heads would deal with him. That's why I tell people now, the youth need discipline, but they need love.
Right.
And I was like his big brother, and he yelled out, hey, boy, today is your day. Things happen when it rains. I don't know if there was some voodoo or what. I was like, what does that mean, things happen when it rains? Because it was actually pouring down rain outside. He said, it's your day today. As I went in there, the lady was typing on the computer. I sat down. She said, Mr. Foreman, you have immediate release. And I'm like, okay. But just 3 months ago, there was a detainer in the computer. The federal prison said they're coming to pick me up 3 months ago. So now my stomach is bubbling. I said, I'm going to ask her. I said, there's no hold on me in the computer. She said, no. I said, there's no detainer on me in the computer. She said, no. I said, I'm going to shut up and write this out. So I get up.
Right.
They give you the $100 when you get out of state prison. I walked to the front of the police car with the officer, not the back. It was a woman. I got in the front seat with her. I said, this thing is feeling real. Drove me to the bus station. Said, Mr. Foreman, have a nice life. I don't want to see you again. I was jumping up on the Greyhound. I just beat the feds. I just beat the feds. They never came and got me.
Wow.
That's the first half.
Mm-hmm.
So I get back, I get out in Miami, Florida, and I knew three things I tell people. If you've been in an abusive relationship, if you've been on drugs, and if you've been in prison, you need accountability. You need somebody to hold you strong because you can't trust yourself in any kind of weakened state. So I knew at the age of 16, see, I had a way out of my situation at 16. I had to rob a bank. My aunt and them, who were deep in the church, but they Kojic, I mean Holy Ghost, skirt down their ankles, no makeup, no, man, I was like, I ain't moving with them at 16-year-old. I ain't coming to no St. Louis or no Holy Ghost church. But now I'm 25 years old, and I'm like, man, if I don't go up here, them people work, and they go into church. Yeah. So I called them and moved up to St. Louis. I was dating the pastor's daughter, about to be a deacon, working at labor ready, temp service, not thinking about crime. Mm-hmm. While I'm doing that, my pastor's daughter started having dreams. She had 4 dreams that I went back to prison. And I'm like, you crazy. I ain't even thinking about crime. 3 years later, 30 months exactly, 4 days after Valentine's Day, 2014, 6 a.m. in the morning, I'm laying on the bed, one sock on, one sock off, I can remember. I hear a heavy knocking. If you ever heard of marshals or any police serve a warrant, it'll wake you up out of coma. Oh, yeah. I run downstairs and they say, Mr. Foreman, we have a warrant for your arrest. Put me in handcuffs, took me to the police car, turned around and said, you were let out of prison erroneously by mistake.
Wow.
Now, in this state, I was not mad at, I was mad at them, but I wasn't thinking about the police. I wasn't thinking about the government. I was mad at God. How can I change my life, relocate from Miami to St. Louis, get in the church, and you telling me I'm going back in there? What is the purpose of changing? And I remember sitting on the edge of my bed in tears, like anger, suicidal, ready to kill or whatever. An older guy came to me, I would call him old head. He started speaking life into me. And that's why I tell people, you got to accept the help that God sends. You got to accept that help. He started speaking to me, and then while my head was down, in my mind, I was going to say Negro, but you know another word. I don't want to hear nothing else about God, but I didn't. I said, whatever you say, man. He started working on my case, and I started to occupy myself during the situation. I don't have it in front of me, but I got like 30-some certificates where I was bettering myself, anger management, going to classes, and I was voted prisoner, most likely to succeed, prisoner of the month. Yes, they have that type of award in federal prison. Wow. I go to be prisoner of the month. 4 years later, he filed the appeal because they wanted me to do my whole 9.5. They didn't want to give me the time I served in my state. They was like, we didn't agree to run that time concurrent. You got to do your whole 9.5, as if my 4.5 before did not matter. Wow. So he's filing an appeal. I'm preparing myself with God. 4 years later, I won the appeal, and I was released out of prison. So I served 4.5 years, 3 years on the street, and 4 more years. So I served 8.5 years altogether.
Man, that is crazy, bro. And I know that, you know, some people who, I know tons of people who've been in and out, and sometimes you think people would rather be in than out based on their lifestyle and the decisions that they make. But I couldn't imagine turning your life around, living 3 years, walking the straight and narrow, and then getting a call like that. But guess what, folks? That is just the first adversity that he had to overcome. So I know Michelle actually introduced me Reggie, and I know you know him for a few years. So you know a little bit more about his story, so I'll let you take it from here.
Okay. Now do we need to go to break? Because he has such an exciting story. I don't want to jump into this here thing. We got to cut the break anything, because we could go in for round 2.
All right, let's take a short break, man. Let me let you guys hear from Reggie and tell you all about the new book that he's got that's actually available right now. And I want you guys to do me a favor, man. I want you to support this brother. Click on the link in the bio, the description, and go ahead and grab this book. But let me cut to his commercial so you guys can check it out right now.
Hello everyone, my name is Reginald Foreman, author, speaker, designer, and inventor. I come to you talking about my new book, There's Purpose in Your Pain. God still loves you even when he doesn't answer your way. Yes, I know that's a deep title. God gave me the vision of this book a few months back. I was on a 21-day fast seeking him for help on some situation I was going through, and he showed me this book through my fast, and it says, God still loves you even when he doesn't answer your way. What I'm finding out is a lot of people in this world are asking God why. There's purpose in your pain. We all go through pain. A lot of you may know about me being incarcerated illegally to 18 and a half years in prison. They set me free for 3 years and came back and got me and said, you were let out of prison erroneously by mistake. What? In this book, we're going to talk about my situation. I'll go into deeper depths. That it's a compilation of my book, Live Determined, but there'll be deeper things I'll talk about that I didn't talk about in my first book. So I'm here to try to help you, hopefully through this book, get some healing and some understanding. If you want to contact me, you can locate me at reginaldforman.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. That is my girl, Michelle Aaye. We're sitting here with a special guest, but I got to mention that we're coming live and direct from the St. Louis Credit Repair Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Cost-effective credit repair done by professionals. Go to stlcreditfix.com if you need help with your credit. So before we jump to the break, Michelle, you was going to talk a little bit about how you and Reggie met, then get on to tragedy number 2, right?
Man, okay. So I met Reg a couple years back. I met him. I was actually in a Christian apparel store looking for, because anybody that knows me knows that I love my Christian apparel. So I love to get my little t-shirts. They make great statement pieces. And so I was looking for the t-shirt, and the gal that was in the Christian bookstore that I was in told me all about Reggie. And I'm like, oh man, I need to connect with this dude, you know? So we were able to link up and exchange some information. And, we just clicked from a business perspective. And so, man, he was a powerful dude. Went out to a couple speaking engagements that he had at a couple churches. And I just love the connectivity. And so from there, man, I just got an opportunity to know his story, you know. And so Reg, so backtracking slightly, you know, you incarcerated twice, 2 times. And, after you got out second time, take us from the point, you started a fashion line, things kind of started popping for you, give us a little bit of that, pick us up in the story from there. And then we'll jump back into the tale of woes of what happened to you.
Indeed. So yeah, when I got out of prison, the first time I got out, I didn't really have no focus. I was just working at the temp service. The second time I got out, I started to focus on my gift.
Okay.
And but I knew that I heard a friend talking about college. So I wanted to go to school because really not many people in my family went to college and graduated. We have a few, but especially because of who I was. I was the black sheep of the family, the one in the streets, the one get kicked out of schools. I'm going to college. And I ended up going to college to take up culinary arts to be a chef because I read a book in prison by Chef Jeff, who was been on Rachel Ray TV. He's a multi-million-dollar chef who went to prison for 10 years for drugs. And I was chasing something to prove something to my family. So I ended up quitting and switching my major over because I like cooking, but I didn't love it. I knew I can get in with a federal record because he had one. But after a while, I was like, you got to do what you love. I switched over to graphic arts because my stepmother spoke something to my life at 14. And I tell people God is always speaking. She said to me, you're an artist. You should do something with cards and T-shirts. I was 14 years old when she said this.
Wow.
So that went back to my life that I can draw and write poems. And I switched over to culinary arts. And as soon as you get on your focus and this your grind, stuff starts to happen. Me and my aunt started bumping heads because I was trying to do stuff my way. Why you ain't working these jobs and you chasing these dreams? She wasn't really hating, but she she only could speak from what she understood.
Right.
And I ended up quitting the school. I was tired. Then I was also tired of all these extra classes, English and all. Like, man, I don't even like school. I just need to get in. But I didn't know enough wisdom to get in the trade class. Right. So I quit school. I ended up working 2 jobs, and I was at this print shop on Berkeley. And I was doing T-shirts, and I saw T-Pain on the BET Awards. I said, God will speak to you through anything. He raised up his award. He said, I want to thank all my haters for this award. Popped in my head was, God bless my haters. That was my second shirt, actually, but I love to tell that testimony because I was watching BET Hip Hop Awards. Right. And my first shirt was God made me what can break me. I went to the lady that worked. I said, I got some ideas for some T-shirts. Got some graphic design shirts starting to pop. She said, you work here? Go ahead. I was selling my shirts. I had an old red Fred Sanford pickup truck. So I'm driving around St. Louis from barbershop to beauty salon slinging T-shirts. And I saw how people liked the words. God made me what can break me. This woman overcame cancer. One overcame a bad marriage. One bought the God bless my haters because this girl was at her job getting on her nerves. And I said, do you know what it says, God bless my haters? I said, but whatever you want to buy it for, hey. So I was selling shirts left and right. But what happened was I did not know how to scale a business. I was just a hustler. Right. I quit doing business for a year, speeded up. I ended up at this church and got prophetically spoken to out of nowhere. A woman behind me whispered in my ear, and never met her before, and said, are you trying to start a business? God said he'll do it if you keep going and put him first. Started back up. A business guy came to me. He said, Reggie, do you have any business cards? I was like, no. He said, do you even have a website? I said, no. He said, how do you expect to compete on this level or that level? You don't even have that. I listened to him, accept the help that God sends. I took $1,000 income tax, not $5,000, not $20,000. I took $1,000 income tax, got my website, got another computer, got my business cards, and then my boy Willie Moore Jr., which y'all know in St. Louis, because I had just started serving with him in 2009. He came to me and said, Reggie, tweak up the shirt a little bit, make the words dope. And I did, and it was godly image. A lot of people had it. Even one of my people that was grinding with me got it tattooed on her arm. Godly image. I started selling shirts from left to right all over the city. And then I got orders from Africa and France. Now, in the midst of this, I was doing this clean comedy show. And he knew my story. He said, Reggie, go up there and open up. So I was doing empowerment speaking before the comedy. He said, open up. I would tell my story. Now, when people would walk in, I got a booth. They would see my shirts, and this is one of my polo shirts, and I got on my head. And they would buy some then. But when I got through telling my story, I would have 2 lines of people. I started speaking. I was on the same platform, Ms. Robbie and Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies. I had 2 lines of people. I was getting opening doors. And then someone came to me and said, you need to write a book. I was like, I don't want to write no book. I'm going to wait till I'm in Paris, I'm in France, and my name is big, and I'll make more money. But God had another plan.
So, Reggie, so the merchandising, so the T-shirts, the book, the merchandising, so you're doing good, okay? So you're flying high with that. Take us to, you find love at some point, and you get married. Take us into your family life. So we're cascading up. Take us into your family life because we're riding this roller coaster. We're going up. What happens when we go up? Another drop is coming. Take us to the family portion.
I ended up getting married in 2011. And me and my wife at that time, we were trying to have children, and it was hard because she has fibroids, growth in her, and it was hard to get pregnant. And one time she did get pregnant. It was all the symptoms, pregnancy tests, and she went to the doctor, and they said, but there's no fetus in there. So she had all the symptoms, but there was no fetus in the sac. And they called it blightum, ovum blightum, I always get it wrong, but it's some symptom like that. And she was devastated. She barely was up and down in faith. She was done. Didn't want to try no more. She was done. I say about 1.5 years, 2 years later, she came back to me, and she was like, I don't know if she got through watching Joel Osteen or whatever. She was excited. Her faith was up. I want to try again. So at this time, this is when we going up. 1 week we doing good, and next week we bumping heads. I'm 40 years old. She comes to me and says she want to try again. I'm like, okay. But then she said, I don't want to just have 1 child. You 40, I'm 36. I want 2 at the same time. I want twins. And inside me, I was like, you done lost your mind.
That was
inside me.
Okay.
Inside me, I was thinking this because at first I'm like, I'm 40 years old, and I'm trying to build this business, and me and you stay into it. We bumping heads. But I said yes in front of her by faith. We do what we do as married people start, to make a baby, Time goes on. She has a pregnancy test. She's pregnant again. Okay, that happened before. I'm at my side job. She goes to the doctor without me. She didn't want me to go. And they say they heard a heartbeat. She called me. I was like, okay, cool. We got a heartbeat. Then she said, boy, the doctor said he heard 2 heartbeats. And I just remember, like I said, I almost drove off the side of the road. I was like, did God just answer this girl's prayer? I can't believe. You got to fathom someone speaking that and it happens.
Right.
And we ended up, and it ain't in our families, neither one of our families.
Right.
So, you know, with twins, and then as it go along, this is my first children. You want to you go all the way with God. We want a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
It's time to go check the sexes. We end up with a boy and a girl. I said, God, you on a roll here. So while in the midst of that, I'm doing my speaking events, 21 Days of Greatness. I'm traveling Baltimore, Philly, all over. My ex-wife, she's my ex-wife now. Now that some of y'all know, we going together doing events. We're getting inboxes, we're getting praise reports. I gotta say all this because it was amazing. People love our testimony. About 3 days after my big event, I'm in the house downstairs watching TV, and I heard my ex-wife upstairs scream. She called my name. I run upstairs, and at 15 weeks into pregnancy, she's standing over a puddle of water. And so I know what that means, and I know she know what that means or what we thought, but I went into super faith. Like, there's no way illegal prisons, abuse, people praising us for it. This ain't the will of God. And a lot of us that are faith people, well, this is not the will of God. I know this ain't happening. So she said, maybe I peed on myself because of the growth is pushing my cervix. And I was like, okay, that's what it is. An hour later, I go downstairs and I heard an even worse screech. Ooh, sometimes when I tell it, I can see it. I come upstairs. She's sitting on the edge of the steps. She said, look down there. And it was 2 feet hanging out her vagina, 2 little feet trying to come out. So we rushed to the hospital, and lo and behold, the doctor checked the baby and said, yes, you lost your little girl. She died. So I just remember the pain of when I went to prison, changed my life and went back in, and this was just as hard. But I didn't have time to sit amongst that. I had to believe for her. She was really done with God. I had to believe for her, and I said, you have to stay strong because we have a little boy in there. And my son, 27 weeks into that, I'm in the hospital room, 27 weeks, she's in. She had to get 2 surgeries on her cervix. I'm laying in there asleep, and all I heard was rough and all in the hospital room. And then all I heard him saying that he can't breathe, he got to come out right now. I said, now? So he ended up coming out at 2 pounds, 1 ounce of premium. And but he came out screaming. And I was like, wow, he's going to be all right. So he stayed in the hospital 75 days. She stayed in 45 days. And that's when I said, God, we need to talk.
Yeah, that man, how could you not be at the same place your wife was at the time during all of that? Because I think of myself as very spiritual. I believe, I think that my belief is strong, but man, from all that you have gone through, it seems that if anybody had the right to denounce God, I'm thinking Job here.
Right.
Me and you both.
So how did you stay strong, brother?
That's a great question. That is a great question. I always tell people, first of all, I really met God in prison. It wasn't a jailhouse religion. And for all my Bible people, whatever, Paul was going around killing Christians, and he met Jesus on the way to Damascus on a horse. He knocked him off and he went blind. And we call it the Damascus encounter. He really met Jesus. So that's how I feel in prison, because God spoke to me in the middle of my pain when I lost trial. You can see my CBN documentary. And I was cursing God out. Where the F were you when my mother was beating me? Where were you when they was chasing me home from prison? Where were you when I was out here trying to survive and eat? And God spoke to me and said, I have a purpose for it. So knowing that he spoke to me and knowing I've seen him answer so many prayers, I was mad at God, but I can't go into denial that he's not real, for one thing. And then the second thing, to answer your question, when I got saved at 20 years old, all I wanted to be was the biggest thug on the block, because I got bullied a lot and I see how they got respect and I seen they got the baddest chicks. So I never had no dreams. So when God said he called me to be a prophet, I fasted for 21 days. it was like I got a whole new life and identity. So it's a little deeper for me because I was gone, dead, and he saved me. So I'll be mad at him at times, but I'll be right back.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Gotcha, guys. So when we come back, we're not going to leave you guys here. This is not the end. Reggie is going to tell you a couple tips that you can use to help you get through adversity. But then we're going to show you what all of this pain actually led to. So keep it locked right here.
Yo, what's up, St. Louis? Let me ask you a serious question. If I saw $20 about to fall out of your pocket, you want me to tell you, right? Well, the fact of the matter is, I see $300 to $600 per month falling out of your paycheck every month. So guess what? This is me telling you. For those of you who do not know me, my name is H. Cortez, wealth strategist, author, and I'm on a mission to empower our community economically through financial education. See, over the last 5 years, I've been fortunate enough to be trained and coached by some multi-millionaires. And you know what I learned? Is that there's only 4 things that we have to overcome if we ever plan to build generational wealth. You have to overcome taxes, you have to overcome debt, we have to overcome our credit woes, and we have to overcome our lack of asset accumulation. But if we stop the bleeding by overpaying taxes $300 to $600 per month, and that's not me saying that, that comes straight from the IRS. So if you want to know if you're one of the 80 million people that's overpaying taxes, all I want you to do is go over to payraise.wealthcreationplaybook.com, watch a short video, answer 7 questions, and you can find out if you're overpaying taxes, but more importantly, you'll find out what you can do to stop the bleeding. payraise.wealthcreationplaybook.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back. You're hanging out with your girl, Michelle. Hey, and that is my homeboy, Cortez Hustle. We are chilling right here in the studios, you guys, with my boy, my homeboy, my broham, Mr. Reginald Foreman. And before we took our break, we were knee deep in his testimony, in his story. And before the break, we were going to talk about the other side of his story. We were going to talk about everything that led up to where he is now, the other side of the adversity. So Reggie, tell us about those points, right? The other side of the adversity. Let's talk about it.
Well, the biggest thing that helped me is that people always ask me is, let's go here. You can be a Christian, but waking up with a purpose is what you need. Just because you wake up because you love God, what are you waking up to every day? So for me, purpose helps me every day. Every day I'm getting up because you will get hit with your child died or they illegal sentenced you or your money ain't right. So I have to keep my mind renewed on purpose. Romans 12:2 said renew your mind. So one of the biggest things is renew your mind. You can't stay in your past, and sometimes you can't stay in your present. You got to believe in your future. My number 2 thing is I love to study successful people's stories. When I started looking at Tyler Perry's real story and Oprah and Jim Carrey, who was homeless at 16, and all these people, that I understood that they bleed the same blood as me and they came through some tragedies. It took that lift off to me that maybe God is allowing me to go through. I'm the stepchild, or he don't care about me, because I know a lot of us go through that. And so when I understood that these people went through the same or worse than me, you know what I mean? And that keeps me going. My other thing, of course, is keep your spiritual and mental tank full. What is that? When something hits you, you got to pray immediately. We wait 2-3 days to pray, then your prayer is bouncing off the wall. And you don't have to be bishop such and such, but keep some word in you, keep some worship in, because it releases. And then the other thing is my mental tank. My mental tank is studying success story, and I listen to coaches. I listen to other podcasts and inspirational and natural business content, because it's taking me forward. If you're building something and you're focused on something better, then you believe you're going somewhere. I'll say it again. If you're building something and you're focused on something that's better, you're doing something. But if you just watch the latest TV show every day and just deal with the kids, how are you building for something higher? So I was a dude that'll slap you in the face with a pistol, but then the next time I would try to commit suicide. So I went through so many mental issues. If I can say it again, you have to renew your mind.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's talk about where you are now. So everything, all of the pain that you went through, what was it all for? Let's talk about where you are now. Where did that pain lead you, Reggie?
You know, that's a good question. I like how you said that. What does it all lead to? I don't know if I have 100% answer, but I can tell you, I left off where I said I left my ex-wife in the hospital. She was at peace, and I said, God, we need to talk. I said, why in the world does this make sense to lose my child, everything I've been through? And as I was sitting there, I had Reggie Line was a character like Ralph Lauren Polar Bear on the t-shirt, but I saw him being transformed to a dog. And I was like, man, where that vision come from? So this is Reggie the Lion. If most of you haven't seen it, this is the prototype. This is what I was able to do with my budget. But he talks, he speaks positive affirmation to kids. So I saw all the things I write being put into a dog. Nice. And then when I was at my side job, the whole movie script was coming out like water. The cartoon, I saw the app, everything was shown to me. But I skipped the part. What happened first was I saw MADD, which is Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Because God was showing me how this was the woman, if you know about that's for years she's been doing this. Her 13-year-old daughter got hit by a drunk driver and died. And she turned into an organization, which we see many people doing that. So my thing is, what do you do with the pain?
Yeah.
How do you manifest and do something? God will show you, because there are many people. We can look at the Mike Brown incident. Look what his mother and father are doing. So there's something that you can do with it. You can't sit it and you can't let it defeat you. So Reggie the Lion was turned into a positive affirmation. And I had a businesswoman who was strong in the word. She was with me, working with me. She said, Reggie, God showed me in a dream or prayer, whatever, that for you losing one child, you're going to help millions of children. Wow. So I was like, wow. Then another guy came to me when I was working. He was working at a friend's house doing tile. He was a prophet. He came to me at the end of the day and he said, Reggie, I saw clear as day that you're going to help children believe before they can doubt through Reggie Lion. I seen them in the toddlers laying in the bed listening to the doll speak. And I seen them running around, dragging the doll around, speaking the positive. You're smart. You're strong. You can do it. God loves you. You have purpose. And this is what he says. So what I'm saying is, I can't say that it brought my child back, but you better believe what will I do now is being manifested. And also now we have Reggie Lion, the book. This coloring book is a book of learning and coloring pages, and I got a chance to include my son. So it's called The Adventures of Reggie Lion and Jeremiah, because my son was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Oh, wow. And that's another hard thing. He's a handsome, beautiful boy. You can go on my page, but he's in therapy for his walking. And it's hard. It's hard. But what I'm saying is, like Cortez asked me earlier, the way I'm able to keep going is my purpose and a real relationship with God. I ain't talking about nothing I found. Oh, me and God battle, but my arm's too short to really box with God.
You better know it. You better know it.
Awesome. Before I let you get out of here, man, I know you got to run, but one of the things that stuck out to me in your story is when the big head honcho over at Bloomingdale's told you that you were going to have some struggles with this particular product because you got God on the front. I like your response, man. So share your response to him, but then go ahead and take us out of here and just tell everybody where they can go and find more about your story and how they can purchase your book and everything else.
Indeed, there's so much to my story, y'all. It's a movie. We do have film producers that have been looking at me. But anyway, one of my mentors came to me and he said, I want you to meet somebody. He felt it valuable enough to take me to, we was at the bread company, and this guy, older, 80-year-old white guy, he was the big guy at Bloomingdale's back in the days when Ralph Lauren brought his first tie in there. And Calvin Klein created his first rain jacket. And he was the guy there, and he said, he looked at my stuff. I didn't have the prototype. I just had the pictures. He looked at it. He liked the designs. He said, this is good. This is nice stuff. I like the idea. He said, but there's two things. Because it used to be Leo the Lion. And so he said, I don't like Leo the Lion, the name. And I said, why? And he said, because it's too common. I said, okay, I'm going to listen. What would you name it? And then he said, why don't you name it your name? And I was like, he said, Reggie the Lion. He created my theme song right in front of me. So, but then the second thing he said, I'm going to tell you this, you're going to have a lot of big problems going to big box office stores because you got God on the front. And see, this is what I tell people. You can have all the faith in the world, but you need to study your lane. You need to study your business area. You need to know what you're doing in business and in God. See, I'd already had been reading and studying. I said, let me show you something. The Christian faith is the buying power is one of the most powerful buying power in the world. Something point billion a year we spend in the Christian faith. The buying power is huge. Look at Chick-fil-A, and that's everybody buying it. But a lot of Christians eat there just because it's a Christian restaurant. So on top of that, I said, everybody don't like Pizza Hut, everybody don't like Papa John's, everybody don't like Sprite, everybody don't like Pepsi. And then I also found, I said, if you know about VeggieTales, they make 60 million, and they were mostly cartoons. I said, there's a whole lane. And then I said to him also, people who don't run up in the church, who just want their child to be raised right and hear positive affirmations already done told me. I'm talking about thugs who's like, man, I don't go to church like that, but boy, this is a good idea because I want my kids to grow up better than me. They already told me they'll buy it. He looked at me, he said, man, you did your homework. So that was one of the biggest tests because this was a big guy. He knew what he was saying, and he's made plenty of money, but he said, you did your homework. So now, to find me, my website is reginaldforman.com, and then we have reginaldlion.com that we created, but you can find me on reginaldforman.com. My Instagram is Reginald_Foreman. My Facebook is Reginald Foreman God Made. I'm barely on Twitter, but you can find it on there too, but that's how you can find me out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that was an amazing story, Reggie. We thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. When we come back, we got your responses to the question of the day. So keep it locked right here.
The St. Louis Hustle Podcast is brought to you by Reggie the Lion. Go to ReggieTheLion.com to grab yourself a copy of the coloring book and keep up with all the latest developments of the dog and everything that Reggie the Lion is planning to bring to our children. Also, check out OfficeHuddlePrint.com. All of the graphic designs that you've seen for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast are courtesy of Office Huddle Print Shop. Our good friends helped us with logos, flyers, thumbnails, even our merchandise, courtesy of OfficeHuddlePrint.com. St. Louis Credit Repair Institute, get your credit in the right order. STLCreditFix.com. They average 50 to 150 point increases for over 100,000 customers so far, and you can be next. STLCreditFix.com. The St. Louis Hustle Podcast is a copyrighted production of iHustle Media Group. Any unauthorized use of the content of this show is strictly prohibited. iHustle Media Group, a better way to market.
Man, oh man.
Woo! Man.
Powerful stuff.
Man.
Reggie, that testimony is amazing. I love that he said that doll has the potential to help children believe before they could doubt. And that is amazing.
Yes, I love that he said that, through his tragedy, the tragic loss of one child, he can save so many others, Reggie, through Reggie the Lion. Just so much is being birthed through what he's doing. So shout out to Reginald Forman.
Absolutely. And we've got a new question of the day. I'm going to give you the results of our poll from last week's question of the day. But before we get into that, Michelle, I got to ask you, what is you wearing?
Shade?
I mean, no shade, but I'm just saying, I know you've been going through some stuff with the job, and they've been, this virus is got people all mixed up and turned. So,
well, again, Shay, what happened was, this is what happens when coronavirus, this is what happened when corona get hold of you. You wake up confused, I ain't know if I was coming or going. I woke up and then I put on my Nike stuff like I was going to go to the gym, and then I had a mindset like I wanted to go to work, so I put a blazer on. But then it was St. Patrick's Day, so I put on my Shamrock leggings. Shout out to Chelsea for knowing happy birthday, girl. And I got on my orange Nike shots. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, man. It's that coronavirus. It's got me, man. It's got me out here tripping like
And they told you not to come back to work, didn't they? They tell you not to come back to work.
You know what? See, this is what had happened, right? Yeah, though, I was on last week and I told y'all, I was like, oh, this is what happened, hee ha ha. And I was trying to be responsible. And yesterday I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and I'm gonna just call the people real quick, right? So I had to go through some loops. And I called my doctor. And then it was like, oh, yeah, you gotta call the people. And then you gotta talk to them. So I called the people, I called the people at the CDC, ABC place, right? And I was like, hey, people, here are my symptoms. I got a cough. And they was like, they asked me a bunch of questions. And the people at the CDC, ABC place, they was like, ma'am, get the hell off our phone. You don't have the symptoms for the coronavirus. They said, you don't have that, ma'am. You might have, some blood crackinackle, but you ain't got that. You ain't got the other boogers. You ain't got coronavirus. You ain't got that. Take it as a word is what they said. Sorry, Lord. But that's what they basically told me. I was like, Gucci. So I was like, okay. I found my blazer. I was like, let me go to work. Turn up. And so I sent my boss an email. I said, hey, I'm finna go ahead and bless y'all place with this space. And I'll be there tomorrow after the show because that's what I do. And it was like, no. Scratch? What? The record scratch. Now, since you're not 100% sure that you don't have it, why don't you just go ahead and work from home again? Huh? Now I'm in my feelings. Now I'm offended. Y'all don't want me there? What the? Y'all don't want this blessing in the building? So, every time I don't go to the office, they have all these system problems. And the anointing, they don't understand that I carry. See, God chose me to carry some of that anointing.
There you go.
And see, every time they say, go and work from home, I keep the anointing in my house. That's okay. I store the anointing in the house and I keep it here and I just go out there and anoint people on my highways and byways. Y'all don't want the anointing in the building. That's fine. Let your little systems and your little VPNs.
There you go. All right, well, Shelly, we had the question of the day last week. Can an entrepreneur and a non-entrepreneur survive in a long-term relationship? We put a poll up on the page, and you said no. 10 out of 13 people said yes. Only 3 agreed with you and said no. And I believe, I'm going to have to go check the analytics, that you might have been the one who voted no all 3 times. I'm just saying.
You know what? Okay.
So before we get out of here, man, we got a new question of the day. And if you guys want to actually participate and be in the show, you can DM us on Instagram at St. Louis Hustle Podcast, a video, 60 seconds or less, your answer to today's question and why. So hit on with today's question of the day.
Okay, so real quick, today's question of the week or question of the day is, you see your boss's spouse out with somebody else, okay, on an obvious date. Do you tell your boss? Okay, and you work with both your boss and your boss's spouse. You work with them both, and you see the little one out on an obvious date. Do you tell? Yes or no?
I've got a suspicion that this is coming from a real place, but we not going to get into nobody's business. That's the question of the day. Guys, we'll put the poll up on the page. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at St. Louis Hustle Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And, of course, the audio recording of this, the MP3 file, will be available for download at 11 a.m. this morning. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all of your podcasting places. This has been real, but more importantly, it has been real fun as usual. So that's it for us here at the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. Thank you for all of your support. Shout out to our sponsors, Office Huddle Print Shop, St. Louis Credit Repair Institute, Michelle and her media company. We are doing big things. And if you, my friend, want to promote the show or advertise on the show, then all you got to do is inbox Cortez Hustle or Michelle Aaye, and we'll let you know what you need to do to become a part of the show. Special thanks to our special guest, Mr. Reginald Foreman. Make sure y'all go click the link in the bio, go get his book, make a donation to his efforts to bring Reggie the Lion to our youth all over the world. Until we talk to y'all next time, we want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.
Peace.